wasn't sure that there were going to be enough budding entrepreneurs, but when the hands came up, there were quite a few, which is interesting, which is very, very exciting. Yeah. Well, I think that's good enough time. I think it depends upon the audience. If the audience is really playing good match with you, that means they're getting into the mood of it, they're understanding, and I don't think you've got to repeat things. So, I mean, I thought they were clued in, so the time was okay. And definitely quick decision making, I think a must for entrepreneurs. So I thought that's very important, whether you're choosing a partner or whether you're looking at your employees or changing the direction of the business or the components required at a different time when the business is sort of growing. You need to be quick decision maker. USP of Parragon, okay, great prices at unbelievable value. So we're not saying we're cheap. What we're saying is we provide great value content at the best production values at the cheapest price. So Parragon is roughly about 25-30% from any publisher's product comparable product that you will see in the market. So I guess to provide that at an affordable consumer price across the world is our USP. Entrepreneurship, a lot of people want to be an entrepreneur due to the so-called benefits and positives that we see. You can be your own boss, right? You don't want to be your own boss for having as many holidays you want. So you got to be a bit mature in making that decision. That's the first advice. And I would say the second one is to really map out your future 10 years, because you need a short-term plan, you need a mid-term plan, and you need a long-term plan. So that you don't run out of investments, you don't know your business runs out of that idea in 3 years' time. And that's very important. So I think having a business model which takes care of short-term, medium-term, long-term, and the last thing is ask yourself a question: am I an entrepreneur? Well, Parragon is a global business. First of all, we started 21 years ago in England. And we started as a business which was only focused on supermarkets where no publisher sold books. And we were the first ones to start that model. It's quite unique. And we went and sold to Asda and Sainsbury's supermarkets, and we produced books that were relevant for that market. But then we moved on to US, and it was great success. Moved on to Germany and continental Europe. We publish in about 14 languages. And then we came to India. And then that JV was set up first time. The rest, all offices for Parragon are subsidiaries. And when we set up the JV for India and Middle East in 2006, and post this we went to Australia, and we bought over the largest licensing publishing business there and became #1 sort of player in the market, and then moved on to China. And China is now we are publishing in 400 Mandarin titles, so that's great. Somebody was asking me a question this morning. So was it being a better choice to be a CEO, paid CEO, or being an entrepreneur? And I said, well, if you're heading a business division or a business, then you are an entrepreneur any which way. So it doesn't matter. And if you don't get that, then you're not an entrepreneur. And if you're thinking as a business head that it's your job, then you're not perhaps delivering all what it requires, what a business requires as a delivery. So it's P&L, it's looking at the balance sheet, it's looking at the long-term implications of the stock that you would be holding or capital investments you've made. So it's a more rounded up approach. So, well, I wouldn't say I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur even when I worked for companies like Business India, Dorling Kindersley, and they were great training ground, I would say, and it was fantastic.